Welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Laura Jones.
And I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Today we are at the beautiful Meridia on Westfield in Roselle Park. We'll learn all about Meridia later on in this show and everything cool happening in Roselle Park. We're so excited.
Exactly. And it's a beautiful, perfect day to kick off the New Jersey Morning Show live on the road.
First ever.
Right?
This is the first time we're meeting in person.
I know. Can you believe that?
I love it, though.
I know.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
You look even better in real life.
I know you do too. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
But first, we are going to kick it off with a check on the beautiful New Jersey weather with meteorologist Mike Pavetta, who is standing right outside. Hi, Mike.
Hey there, Lisa Marie. We start off a beautiful day. You hear the church bells ringing in the background right here at Meridia on Westfield. In fact, we've got a great start to our Friday. It also continues into Saturday morning. The trouble is, the weather begins to turn a little fall-like with some storms as soon as tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about those in just a sec. We want to get started with a look outside, as it is feeling quite pleasant here at Meridia on Westfield. Temperature right now of holding in the upper 60s, but on our way to 80 degrees. It'll feel very pleasant, even more like a typical mid-June day versus what you'd expect in the middle of October. Now, going forward, tomorrow also features a warm and slightly humid start, but it turns a little bit cooler by the afternoon as those storms roll in. So let's get you started on some weather headlines. Expect those temperatures today to be anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees above average. It feels so much warmer due to the higher humidity. So may even feel about 20 degrees warmer than usual, especially with all of that humidity around. The showers and storms I mentioned before, they roll in by tomorrow afternoon, early evening time frame. Could be some gusty winds, some lightning, basically what you'd expect in the summertime. So here we are, a couple weeks into fall, middle of October. Some want to do the pumpkin picking, the hay rides, the corn mazes, and yet we've got an afternoon that rolls into the 80s. Now, by Sunday, it'll feel much cooler with a few clouds around, but that dry weather is kind of what you typically expect for the middle of October, and we stay there going into next week. So the pumpkin spice latte weather and all of that warm, cozy feelings that you'd expect from fall, that'll be arriving by Sunday. So it's the split weekend, kind of either way you like your weather, warm and humid or cool and dry, you get both this weekend. The 3-day forecast showing the storms tomorrow with highs that climb back into the upper 70s near 80 degrees, and then we cool back down into the 60s for Sunday. That cooler, drier feel lasts all next week. We'll tell you more about that, including what to expect with your football forecast for this weekend. Lisa Marie, that is coming up in just a few minutes. You too, Laura.
Thank you so much, Mike.
All right. Today, we are going to be taking you all on a tour of Roselle Park. We're going to meet people who live and work here, people who make it wonderful. I'm really excited because now we have a guest right here in studio, and it is the mayor of Roselle Park. It is Mayor Joe Signorelli, and we are so happy to see you, Mayor. Good to see you.
People who make Roselle Park wonderful. The mayor right here.
That's it. Of course. That is it. You know, driving in, it's been a little while since I've been up here, and there's so much new that's going on, including right where we are right now. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in this town.
Yeah, been mayor for a couple of years now, and we have a really lovely town. The fact of the matter is our downtown hadn't seen a lot of renewal in a long time. We've made a concerted effort over the last couple of years to start rebuilding, and people want, especially post-pandemic, we have a lot of New Yorkers moving in. They want a lively downtown, and we're starting to make that happen. Started that the real kind of first pillar started here with Meridia 1. I think they opened up last year in the throes of the pandemic. Rented out in like 2 months, just because people really love the area and people love nice modern amenities. So, yeah.
Why is a building like this important to your town?
So I was just talking about this. So I'm a homeowner because mayors are supposed to own homes.
Of course.
But I mean, I'm a millennial who can't fix a toilet if it's broken. So I got used to, living in an apartment where if something happens, you have a gym there. Something happens, you call the super. You don't have to deal with it yourself. My dad's my general contractor who lives a couple blocks away. That's the only reason that I can actually, own a home is because I can't fix anything. But my point is, folks my age, we're having children later. We're moving into homes later, and a lot of us feel comfortable. Having something that's taken care of for us, right? Because we all have busy jobs. But the other thing is also these buildings have a sense of community, right? There's common rooms here. We're in one of the lovely common rooms. There's gyms. There's going to be a restaurant opening up here. So I think especially folks that are moving out of, like myself, lived in the city for a long time. You want to make a move out to the burbs, but you still want a little sense of that, urban living. You have kind of the best of both worlds here. So,
well, for people who are watching or maybe thinking, I want to go explore something new. I want to either get out of the city or even get out of the suburbs. Why come here? What are some of the things that they can enjoy if they're walking around town?
Yeah. So we have, I think a really cool bar scene in particular. It's not, we don't have like nightclubs or anything here, but we have the oldest microbrewery in the state of New Jersey called Climax Brewery.
Wow.
And it's really, they're open only certain days. Fridays they do tasting. They have like the backyard going and a fire pit. You have to be really careful because the beers are like 11% alcohol by volume. And that's a lot of fun.
It's a good reason that it's such a walkable community, so you don't have to get in your car and drive. Right?
100%, 100%, yes, yeah, and so we have downtown Dowlings is an old Irish standby here. Actually, my grandpa's bar, Frenchie's Bar and Grill.
Oh, that's so cool! Your grandfather has a bar here.
That.
So
I saw Frenchie's driving in.
Yeah, so
yes, it's a cool name too.
It's so I don't know why they called. It's actually my great grandfather started it. Wow. They called him Frenchie. I don't know.
I like it.
So they called it Frenchie's Bar and Grill. It's been in the family for 4 generations, and it's got awesome pizza and super cheap beer. So yeah, at some point in my lifetime, dive bar just became really cool again.
Yes.
And we have cool dive bars in Roselle Park. So
you're 4 generations. You're Roselle Park royalty.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know if I like that.
You don't know if you like that? Okay.
That's good.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So it actually goes back deeper than that. 1904, the first Signorella moved into Roselle Park. Yeah. So
you are local.
I'm super local. I escaped for a little while and then I came back. My family moved over from Elizabeth, right? It happens all the time, right? So immigrant family moves into a large city. You want a little piece of property, you move, Roselle Park right there. It's my father was volunteer fireman or fire chief here for a long time. Grandpa was on the board of ed. So we've been really deeply involved. I was the only one kooky enough to run for mayor. So it's been fun since then.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Climax Brewery. You mentioned the bustling downtown scene. We got to know this town over the past month or so, going to various events. And Laura and Joe, we're going to be showing that on News 12 Plus. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But all weekend long, we're profiling the best of Roselle Park. Talk about why events are so important to you in bringing the community together.
Yeah. So I think that we've really started to target our events, right? Because if you have a million of them, you don't get as much focus. We've really tried to focus on key ones that are important. So you're going to hear from a local artist. We have a really, up and coming art scene in Roselle Park.
Love that.
Yeah. And just like a lot of folks doing really cool stuff from home. Actually, one of the buildings we're doing here, we're going to have a local public art space where people can kind of show their wares. So we have an event, Roselle Park Arts Festival, every year. It's hugely attended. So we do Oktoberfest, which you guys were at.
Yeah.
That was like, so it has nothing to do with Roselle Park culturally. I just lived in Germany for a while, and Oktoberfest is awesome.
You got to bring
It
it
was
here.
awesome.
That's why we brought it here. Yeah.
I lived in Kentucky, and so I brought the Kentucky Derby Party to New Jersey. So yeah, you should bring Oktoberfest here.
Because Kentucky Derby parties are awesome.
Yeah.
The
Oktoberfest
most
right here.
disappointing part of Oktoberfest, though, I have to say, it was like 85 degrees and you couldn't dress up.
No, you
I was
couldn't.
looking forward to that.
So I got to be honest with you guys. I have the little lederhosen. Right?
Nice.
I have 2 sets of them. But you know,
And you didn't bring it and wear it today.
so it was like it was
Missed opportunity.
It was stifling.
it was
Yeah.
real hot.
It was hot.
I didn't know if that would be appropriate for today. And also like, not only was it hot, but like post pandemic, lederhosen were a little tight. So
It was tight for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, telling us a little bit about the city, the history, and a little bit about what maybe people can do this weekend, or if they're looking to move into the community. Mayor, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me,
Thank you
guys.
for making this happen.
Yeah.
We so appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Laura, we are at Meridia on Westfield, and I had the opportunity to speak with the mastermind of this project, George Capadagli. We're going to be showing the full interview on our News 12 Plus special airing this weekend, but we have a little preview.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to see. All right. We're going to check it
We're
out.
back here with prominent New Jersey real estate developer George Capadagli, and we're going to learn all about his exciting property here in Roselle Park, Meridia on Westfield. George, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
So I want to learn about Meridia in Roselle Park because this building is gorgeous. How did it all come to be?
Well, it started out with a mayor asking us to come here and do a development, and we've subsequently completed this development, and we're on to 2 other developments. The building was designed to make it as a home for people, and that's what's important, as people feel belonging. So we have a state-of-the-art gym, we have terraces, we have working areas that people can actually work and do their communication with their offices. And that was all done way ahead of the COVID, because this building was planned 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have a restaurant that's being built. We have a large lobby that some of it may be consumed with a juice bar coming.
Oh,
because
very
people
fun.
like that. And the building, we wanted to make it so that the people could be able not just to live, but work and be part of the community. The town is very pro people.
Roselle Park, yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Roselle
it's-
Park has done a tremendous job for attracting people to its town. They're not just pro-development, they're pro-people, and that's important to us, that they were involved and wanted to see the people being serviced. So that's one of the things that brought us here. And we're in the stages right now of finishing the second phase, because when we did the first phase, it was 161 units, and we're at 98% or 99% rented, and we have a waiting list for the second phase. So people want to be in this environment. Roselle Park lends people a great environment to live in because it's a safe, it's a walkable town, it's got all kinds of professional amenities, plus food amenities, plus what we'll bring to the town. So we're honored to be here, really honored to be here.
George was such a character. I loved interviewing him, and you're going to see that full interview and more this weekend on News 12 Plus. Fall for New Jersey, Roselle Park, airing Saturday, tomorrow, and Sunday. We have 2 airings per day, 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., so make sure to check it out.
All right. And we also want to make sure that you stay with us, because coming up, we're going to show you Oktoberfest. That was one of the mayor's favorite activities to do. And we want to make sure that you stay connected with us. You can check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and we're going to keep you updated as to who is going to be on the show. And we want to make sure that you check us out and click to follow. Stay with us. You're watching the New Jersey Morning Show live on the road.
Yes, and we're so excited for our next
2020 felt like a dark tunnel, and while 2020 is over, the impact is not. The pandemic affected both our physical and mental health.
We started the Cody Fund for Mental Health to change lives, so we want you to know about NJ211.
It's a referral service for anyone in crisis, even children.
I'm living proof that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not a train, it's help. It's NJ211.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show, live from Meridia on Westfield in Roselle Park. Joining us here is George Castellans. He is a real estate representative here in the town, and it's such a desirable community that we're getting to know and loving. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's changed a lot recently, I'll tell you that.
Tell us how.
Yeah, so, you guys know the market was heating up a lot and rates have gone down a lot for interest for mortgages. And now we have no inventory. We have like 10 properties for sale in all of Roselle Park, and everybody's buying them up within a week or two. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it's really hot.
What is it that people are looking for? We talked to the mayor a little bit earlier about that sense of community. You've got places where you can walk to. You know, I think it's important for many people to park your car and then you can just walk around. So tell me what it is people are looking
Absolutely.
for.
So we have a 1 square mile town, so everything's really walkable. We have great schools. Our elementary schools are phenomenal, middle school and high school. And then it's easy commute to New York City. So that's really the most appealing thing. We have great schools, great eateries, great walkable downtown, and you can commute to the city. So that's where a lot of our buyers are coming from now.
Describe the demographics of the community.
Yeah, so it's been shifting. It's getting younger. We have a lot of millennials. We have a lot of dual income, no kids setups. So you have higher average household incomes. It's still ethnically very diverse. So that helps out too if you want a community of inclusion. And it's getting a little younger, especially in these types of developments. It's smaller luxury apartments. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I think that you brought up something good about the schools, because even though people may not have children now, if they're looking to, it's easy to transition. Even if you're not, even if you weren't expecting children, you do have that. You do have that. So if you buy something, it's not like, oh, well, this is only a place for singles.
Right. Yeah, no, it's great access. And what we're finding is a lot of people who are renting here in Meridia, at some point, once their lease is up and they decide to set roots, they like the town. They want to stay and they can just move a couple blocks away. So that's why we were seeing such a short inventory. Everybody's looking and there's not enough for sale.
Now, you had some involvement in Meridia. Talk about that.
Well, yeah, so I sit on the land use board in town. So it acts as the zoning and planning board. So any developer that wants to come to town comes in front of the board and presents. So we get to have some direction and give some suggestions as to, traffic plan and things like that affect the community. So we get to really help bring these developments in while keeping the community focus in mind.
You're mentioning that there's low inventory. So is there anything new on the horizon? Any projects in the works for people saying, hey, if not now, maybe in a few months or so?
Yeah, for sure. So, a little bit of two things. So we have a lot of these developments, which are rental units. But as far as like the sales market, it's not a lot. We don't have a lot of household inventory. But we do have Meridia is building a big development down the street a little bit. So we're going to have a couple hundred units there. And we have a couple other projects that have just recently been approved. Market rate luxury apartments, very convenient. So we have that on the horizon as well in Roselle Park.
This is so exciting. Where can people find out more about you and real estate in Roselle Park?
Yeah, so my website is jorgecastellans.com, and be happy to help you out here. And then Roselle Park, we have a great borough website as well that they can check out for all of the happenings. And our Facebook page is phenomenal on Roselle Park Borough.
A wealth of information. Thank you so much
for
taking the time to talk to us and for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, beautiful community, beautiful weather. Let's get a check with meteorologist Mike Pavetta. Hi, Mike.
Hey there, Lisa, Marie, and Laura. Yeah, we've got some awesome weather to enjoy today. A little extension of summer after what was a pretty cloudy start to the week, finally wrapping up the week with some sunshine. Well, that sun sticks around going into this weekend. A very warm start to your weekend weather, a warm start to today, especially when you look outside to all the clear sky right now. So today's weather will begin with that clear sky and last all through the afternoon, pumping temperatures up to 80 degrees over in Newark, 78 toward Howell, 79 down by the beaches in Lacey Township. Not much of a sea breeze today, thanks to that warm southwesterly wind pushing in. Even Sussex, Trenton, and Camden climbing to 81 degrees. So a warm start to our Friday and certainly a warm finish. The weekend starts off very warm and humid as well. So town by town, from Morristown through Belmar, upper 70s for you, even toward Trenton and Camden. Inland cities will climb into the upper 70s and low 80s. But notice the second column. That's Sunday's forecast, and that brings back all of the cool, cloudy weather. Might have a little bit of sun to start, but there will be a round of storms tomorrow afternoon that allows for that big cool down, and then following that, a big reduction in humidity. That will feel like fall. That will certainly feel like football weather, because we've got the LA Rams taking on the New York Giants, 1 o'clock on Sunday. And with plenty of clear sky and cool weather, it'll be a nice day and certainly nice football weather to enjoy the game. We've got more weather coming up for you. Talk about La Nina just being declared by the Weather Service and NOAA. Those details and, of course, the 7-day forecast where you can get all of that cool weather you can enjoy for next week. That's in a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Mike. So we're so honored to be joined by our next guest here. We're talking all about the best food and drink in Roselle Park. So of course, let's bring in the Italian from Calabria, right? We have Nicola Cristoforo, the owner of Costa's restaurant. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Tell us all about your fabulous restaurant.
Well, my restaurant is in town for 75 years. I'm there for like 30, 32. It's Italian restaurant. We do like north and south. We got a pizzeria, restaurant, and banquets.
Oh, nice.
So you said you've been here 75 years?
The place is here 75 years, but I'm here like 36.
Oh, okay. So what is it that keeps you in this community, and what is it about your restaurant that keeps people coming back for probably generations?
But my business is like more like we got the pizzeria, which like you bring all of the local people. Then we got a restaurant, and also we do like banquets. Banquets, we got people for all over, like people from New York, for all over the Union County, Six County, Middlesex. We concentrate more like parties. We love to do parties, and we got like different people. The town is nice. We got a nice parking lot across the street from the restaurant, and the Roselle Park is a very nice town. I live in Roselle Park. I own a business. I own real estate. My kids grew up in Roselle Park, and they're going to school in Roselle Park. It's pretty nice town, and it's like all different people. We got Italians, we got Spanish, we got all different people in town, which make like a melting pot. Yeah. And the mayor is a very nice guy. He's original from his mom is original from Calabria, which the Calabrese were a little proud, and we got a lot of Italians in town.
Yeah, well, we were talking off camera. Our towns are, I guess, right next door to each other.
Next door to each other.
Yeah.
You know, Calabria is a beautiful place, but I love Calabria, and I also love United States and Roselle Park in general.
When you came over from Calabria, you settled in Roselle Park, or did you go somewhere else first?
Well, originally I go to Belleville, which is like a big community for Italians. And then I moved to Roselle Park about 36 years ago. And I had a restaurant. I used to work as a manager, and then I take over. I got a partner, and after that we do nice.
Just hearing you talk and about how long you've been here and doing what you love to do, it doesn't really sound like it's a job to you. It sounds like it's just part of who you are. Can you talk a little bit about that?
And I did a lot of different things. I used to be like accountant in Italy, and then I was in the army. And I come in this country, I started to work in restaurant. I did, I consider myself like a cook, maitre d', bartender. I do a little bit everything. And I enjoy what I'm doing. So if you got your job and you enjoy what you're doing, it's 100%.
Yeah, you're feeding the community, but feeding your soul as well by doing what you love.
Yes, I love it. I love Roselle Park, and I plan to stay in Roselle Park. I plan to die in Roselle Park, and my kids, they grew up in Roselle Park. They do very nice, very fantastic.
So talk about the food. What are some of your favorite dishes?
Well, my favorite dish is like, we got traditional dishes like all American dishes like Parmigiana, fettuccine Alfredo, filetto di pomodoro. Also, anytime I go to Italy, I bring like new stuff, new dishes.
Nice.
You bring the supersat over?
Supersata, Anduja, is like the hot salami, cheese. I come for the land of cheese and the salami.
Yes, you do. Definitely.
Yeah.
My grandparents, they're probably watching right now. They are 89 and soon to be 93. Ooh. They're my Calabrese grandparents. We made tomato sauce. I call it sauce. What do you call it?
Like, the American people call it sauce. And they say gravy, but the really word is sauce.
It's sauce,
so
right?
Right.
Okay, good. So I got that right.
Yeah, so we make the sauce. My grandparents forever made the supersat and the wine, and I picture you doing the same thing with your family.
Yeah, we do the same thing over here. We make like a million jar sauce, and also make the sopressata, Anduja, the cheese, the bread. My wife, she also is for Calabria. It's different location, but she's 100% Calabrese. She make all the good stuff.
Well, next time when we do this live show, we're going to your restaurant because
please come.
now I'm starving.
Yeah, I think we got to move on because I'm ready for the show to get over so we can go to
Exactly.
the restaurant. Thank you so much for
Thank you
taking
very
the
much
time
for having me.
to talk to us. But the
Thanks.
show is not quite over
No,
just
not
yet.
yet.
As we mentioned, Roselle Park has a lot of events going on throughout the year. One of the most popular just might be Oktoberfest. And Cara DeFalco, she gave us a look and a tour of this year's Oktoberfest.
Mayor Signorella joins us once again. Today we are at the Oktoberfest. Can you tell us a little bit about this event?
Yeah, so I grew up in Roselle Park, but, I had to get out for a little bit.
As we all do.
As we all do, yeah. And after college, I moved to New York. I worked for a Swiss company and moved over to Switzerland for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun, and I learned German, which is not... it's like a party trick here. Not a lot of German speakers in the area, but it's a lot of fun to when you finally see somebody who speaks German. But long story short, so Switzerland's not far from, there's a lot of co-workers from south of Germany. Bavaria is the area where so South Germany, when you think of all the German stereotypes we see over here, it's Bavaria. They have the pretzels and the beer and the Oktoberfest. And it's so much fun. So it was one of my favorite times of the year. I know you guys were expecting me in Lederhosen today.
I was a little disappointed. I was told there would be Lederhosen, and there is not.
It is 85 degrees, which is not conducive to warm leather pants. So I wanted to take a little something back from, they call it DAC. It's like the German area. We do a bunch of stuff for the kids and seniors in Roselle Park, but we didn't do a lot for adults.
The adults?
Yeah. So this is our third annual Oktoberfest. Just a little something that I brought back home from, Europe. And also we have, Climax Brewery, Dave Hoffman, he makes awesome beer. And it's one of the first microbreweries. I think it actually is the first microbrewery in New Jersey, wow. Climax Brewery. And they do authentic Oktoberfest beer. So we just thought it was the perfect collaboration. Look, it's a town of young families, so mommies and daddies need to have fun too, but that doesn't mean we can't raise a couple funds for the kids, so yeah.
Absolutely, I love it. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us and inviting us, and we definitely look forward to enjoying the Oktoberfest here in Roselle Park.
Prost is what they say in German. It's cheers.
Okay.
Prost. That's good enough.
Good enough.
So speaking of Italy, that's where Cara is right now.
Yes, I saw. It looks like she's having an amazing time.
Yes, I'm living vicariously through her pictures, but we definitely miss you, Cara. Look forward to seeing you soon.
We do. And we want to make sure this weekend you check out the Fall for New Jersey in Roselle Park, where we show you some of the best reasons to visit this town all year. Watch Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on News 12 Plus, and right here on NJ On Air.
So next, we're going to be taking you on a tour of the Roselle Park Farmers Market. But we'll be back in a little bit. In the meantime, make sure to follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at NJ Morning Show.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Swing the hips.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. We are live coming to you from Meridia on Westfield in Roselle Park.
It's such a pretty, pretty day
Oh,
outside.
it's gorgeous.
Speaking of which,
It's
right?
summer. Yeah, speaking of which, Mike Favetta, how you doing out there? I saw, were you getting stopped by the cops before?
No. The Roselle Park PD is just checking in, making sure everything is okay. See, the Meridia on Westfield, they're covering every base, make sure we had parking right up front. So the officer just saying, oh, nice, you got the owner from Costa here. Apparently, it's a very popular Italian restaurant in town. Obviously, if it's been here for, more than 7 decades. And so they're just saying hello. That's all. We've got a beautiful start here as we say hello to you from Meridia on Westfield, right here in Roselle Park. We've got a beautiful afternoon with summer-like weather on tap. Highs, they climb into the 80s today. So this is more typical of what we would see back in June. And yet here we are in the middle of October. Is this La Nina? Is this El Nino? No, this is a typical warm pattern that we get in October. However, the Weather Service and NOAA, the driving factor from the government that forecasts the weather globally, have declared a La Nina beginning. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, in the equatorial waters of the Pacific Oceans, way south of Mexico, you have that blue area along the equator. That's the cool waters that are typically driven by these big atmospheric circulations and allowing for some cold water to upwell there and to allow that cool water to reside on the surface. When that happens, it allows for a big high pressure to sit off the coast of California, which sends some very cold air down into the upper Midwest and the Great Plains in the wintertime. But that means that for us here in New Jersey, we typically have a milder and warmer winter pattern. Now, that's not always the case. Certainly every storm doesn't adhere to that principle, but I think that overall, looking at a slightly milder winter, but remember, it only takes one big storm in order for it to be a bad winter. Like you remember last year, we had our 56-hour winter storm that dropped 3 feet of snow in parts of New Jersey. And yet the rest of the winter was actually quite mild. Looking forward, let's stick to the season. After all, it is fall, and lots of people are enjoying the fall foliage here across New Jersey. Well, the latest update here from the New Jersey Forest Service has the peak color now arriving in northern Morris County and northern sections of Bergen County, even there over toward western Passaic, Sussex, and over in Warren County. So some beautiful colors appearing here across New Jersey. The yellow is the leaves show some change as we're approaching peak season. But even as we go throughout the middle of October, that's when peak color tends to form here across northwestern part of the state. So the peak fall foliage happens in mid-October, north and west. That bright shade of yellow shows late October arrival of the peak color, and then early November down toward the outer coastal plain or points to the south and east out by, say, Atlantic City and Cape May. Now, the 7-day forecast, it is a chilly one. Certainly no chill around today with highs in the 80s. Tomorrow, also very warm, but it's Sunday. That allows for a really cool factor, especially with the lower humidity by the rest of next week. Highs only climbing into the mid-60s. For comparison, the overnights, the last few nights, haven't even gotten into the mid-60s. That's how cool it will be next week, and it stays chilly going forward, especially throughout next weekend. So a nice dry pattern upcoming after a couple storms arrive tomorrow. Lisa Marie?
To get my full wardrobe out.
There you go.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So
There you go.
it's going to give me an opportunity to finally experiment with that. You know, last year I was pregnant, so
Yeah.
I was living
Oh,
in
you were robbed of it
pajamas.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, community events, picking pumpkins, going, checking out, the leaves, as Mike was talking about. Community events, that's a big part of living in Roselle Park. And we have with us now Rupen Shaw. He is the Community Center Director here in Roselle Park. And it's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about what it is that you do?
So the community center was established in 1981, and it was dedicated to Councilman Vincent J. Casano. The purpose was to have events, activities, programs for all age group for the Roselle Park residents. And now it's open also for the Union County residents as well. So we organize more than 15 borough events throughout the year, including the mayor that mentioned Oktoberfest, that is his baby. And also we have July 4th fireworks, Independence Day celebration. Also, we have Christmas tree lighting ceremony. This is the first year we're going to be having a winter market. We were supposed to have it last year, but because of COVID, we couldn't have it. So
Got all the
canceled
seasons covered.
So yes, we are having that. On top of that, we have activities for the seniors in the Casano Center throughout the week. We also offer free transportations to a senior in weekdays for doctor's visits, pharmacy, borough business, and all that.
That is
good
so
stuff.
nice to do. Oh, they must be so appreciative
Oh,
of having
absolutely,
that
yes.
extra support.
Thanks to Mayor Signor and Borough Council for keep investing in the Casano Center and in the community.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about how you're involved with the planning? Because the demographics of the community are changing, and I see a bunch of dogs walking by, and so how do you come up with planning some of the activities to really meet the needs of the community as it's changing?
So I happen to be part of the census this year, so I learned a little bit more about the demographics as well, and I was able to learn more about the diversity of the Roselle Park community. So we have population 30% or more Hispanic community. We have about 10% Indian Asian community, and also we have a lot of Italians, a lot of Germans. So I plan according to the needs of the Roselle Park residents, basically, and just to provide a platform or create an event that could give a comfort zone and to learn about other culture and whatnot. So that's how I plan it.
Do you have anything new and exciting coming up?
Yes, as a matter of fact, this weekend we are having the Hispanic Latino Festival. This is the 6th year we are having it, and in December 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we're having a Christmas tree lighting ceremony and winter market. So you're welcome to come.
Now, I also understand that you're involved in a community food bank. Is that correct?
That is correct,
Can you
yes.
tell me a little bit about that?
So the food pantry was also established in since we opened up, 1981. So this food pantry is open to Roselle Park residents only, and they're qualified residents who can come every Wednesdays, and pretty much the pantry is open for them. And during COVID, we were able to provide food to all residents, no matter who it was. It could be Roselle Park residents or the Union County. So thanks to local organizations and also thanks to Meridia as well for donating a lot of money, and that was the reason why we had stock food pantry throughout the year during the pandemic as well. So that was pretty good.
Where can people find out more about the events happening?
So there are a few platforms that they can find out when we have the borough website, which is rosellepark.net. They can also visit Facebook page, which is the Borough of Roselle Park. They can look up on that. And we have a lot of press releases that goes out throughout the year through Tap Into News and through you guys as well. So yes.
Griffin, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us a little bit about what you do, what's happening in the community, and ways people can give back and also come to celebrate all of the diversity and all that you have going on here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
What a fun town.
It is. It
Seriously.
is. I know.
Well, I think Rupen could agree. Access to fresh fruits and vegetables, very important. And coming up this weekend, we did an in-depth look at the Roselle Park Farmers Market. Our Cara DeFalco walked around, got to know some of the farms and the food trucks that set up shop there. Let's check out a preview.
One of the best ways to fall for New Jersey is to check out your local farmers market. Here in Roselle Park, farmers and vendors are showcasing the season's best. I am joined by Mayor Signorelli of Roselle Park and, ironically, and I guess conveniently, his mother, Antoinette, who runs the farmers market here. Hi. So, guys, tell us a little bit about the farmers market. When did it start?
So I'm happy to tell you about the farmers market. It started about 25 years ago. Wow. My youngest son is now 26 years old. So way back when he was in a carriage, wanted to bring some fresh fruits and vegetables from the Garden State to Roselle Park and improve a little bit of the downtown, and got the ball rolling through New Jersey Council of Farmers and Communities, and that's how it initiated.
And Mayor, what's the value of the farmers market for the community?
So my mom has excellent taste. And she's, I think, along with a lot of people in Roselle Park, have seen the potential of our downtown, right? And I think she had the vision to say this would be a lovely addition to the downtown, right? And it's been the cornerstone for the last 25 years. You know, quite frankly, it's the way that in, you know, a slightly urban environment, a lot of people just get fresh produce without easy access to it. Our seniors love it because they come, they're early birds, they get their fresh produce, they can walk down the street to come get it. But, you know, I mean, it adds, as we sort of rebuild the town, it adds and continues to have a sense of community that we just hadn't had before. Good job, Mom.
Well, the farmers market is a great place to buy ingredients to prep food at home. It's also a great place to grab a bite, a Latin bite. And I am here with my friend Lou Falcon, who is the owner of the Latin Bites food truck, also a staple here at the Roselle Park Farmers Market. Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your truck, the kind of food it serves, because you kind of have a dual cuisine going.
Yeah, so first it's a Puerto Rican Cuban food truck. Serve a lot of very super traditional Puerto Rican and Cuban dishes. We don't try to stray away from anything fancy or anything gourmet or try to do any type of fusions. We keep it strictly Puerto Rican, strictly Cuban.
You guys have a lot of dishes, though, that people may have not necessarily heard of here. Things like Acapulia, bacalito.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about some of those really traditional dishes.
So one of my favorites is the Acapulia, which is a super traditional Puerto Rican fritura. It's a deep fried. It's a deep fried food. The outside is made out of yuca and it's made of plantain, and it has ground beef in the middle. We do it a little different here. Usually the traditional way of making an Acapulia, it's like a small, let's say, something like a small cylinder of the yuca and plantain mixed with the ground beef in the middle. We make ours big. So, you know, it's kind of a motto of go big or go home here. Just like our Cuban sandwich. Our Cuban sandwich is a 14-inch Cuban sandwich, which you will find nowhere. And I always vouch it's the best Cuban sandwich in Jersey so far. Definitely.
That's what the sign says.
Got that right.
How good does that look?
We were just, as we're watching it, talking about how amazing food trucks are and the people who run them. I mean, amazing.
Amazing. You just feed off their good food, but more importantly, their positive energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you can check out more of the Roselle Park Farmers Market on Fall for New Jersey in Roselle Park. The show debuts Saturday, tomorrow, on News 12 Plus at 8 a.m. It also repeats at 6 p.m. And you could also catch it on Sunday, 8 a.m., 6 p.m. on News 12 Plus. It'll also be available to stream anytime on njonair.com.
And we want you to stay with us because we're going to tell you a little bit more about Roselle Park's Art Festival. You're going to want to stay for that. And also, we want you to follow us. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're going to keep you posted on who is going to be on the show. Just make sure you check us out, click, and follow.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show, live from Meridia on Westfield in Roselle Park.
And let's check in now with meteorologist Mike Favetta for a check at the forecast and looking ahead to what looks to be a great start to the weekend. Mike?
It certainly does, Lisa Marie and Laura. In fact, this is the part of the forecast we typically give you, your weather menu, 5 stars. 5-star dining if you're out and about across anywhere in New Jersey this evening, because it will feel like the middle of June when you maybe take your seats out dining al fresco. In mid-October, you typically don't get that, but we get to extend outdoor dining, especially throughout this evening, with your weather menu looking quite fantastic here across New Jersey. So some places like in Morristown, even toward Hoboken, how about Princeton and Long Branch, all holding in the mid to low 70s. Even by Atlantic City and Cape May, with a little bit of an afternoon breeze, you will have fantastic weather for that outdoor dining this Friday evening. If you have plans for outdoor dining tomorrow evening, you may want to call and rebook it inside, because that's when the storms here across New Jersey arrive late tomorrow afternoon into your Saturday evening. That will help clear out any of the remaining pollen, because there are still some ragweed allergens. If you wake up, you parked outside, you notice there's a little bit of a fine coating of film or powder on your car, it's probably that ragweed. It's lasting a little bit later into the season as the weather remains very warm. But again, that comes to an end too, as the chilly overnights are ahead. On the 7-day forecast points to overnight lows down in the 50s, climbing back into the 60s each afternoon, especially by Monday, Tuesday timeframe. You see at the bottom of Tuesday, that 49 degrees. Yeah, that's for Newark. So you expect much cooler weather, especially north and west. I have a feeling that by Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll probably have our first frost advisories pop up here across the northwestern counties in New Jersey, as it will be very chilly by then. At least we get to enjoy the nice dry weather for the next few days after a little bit of rain tomorrow. So hope you enjoy the weekend and enjoy that very fall-like weather throughout all of next week. Lisa Marie and Laura?
Mike, will you be at MetLife this weekend?
I will not be at MetLife, but I will be, speaking of, we're actually having a little pasta night at Nonna's. I said, I'll make the gnocchi with Stephanie. I'll bring it over. She goes, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm going to make the pasta myself. I have it frozen. I said, okay.
Oh, wow.
That we were denied, but at least we get a meal out of it, home cooked from Nonna. It's not Costa's, but, still.
Well, I was going to say, if you were going to MetLife, you would maybe have to suit up, considering that half our team got decimated last week in Dallas.
Yes. It will feel very chilly there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean to play on the field, like pull you from the stands and,
because we met in, we have to give people a backstory. Lisa Marie and I have not met in person until today due to COVID. I've been doing the show almost a year, and here we are. And Lisa Marie's like, oh my goodness, we're seeing the physical size of people in person, which is usually what happens. People are like, wow, you're so tall. So that I guess may clarify to those at home thinking
exactly.
Like, Mike's not really
I scouted him out right away. He could be an offensive lineman. The offensive lineman that the New York Giants need, Mike.
I'll do the forecast. I'll stick to weather for now.
Mike Pavetta, thank you so much.
Have a great weekend. So we have talked about the bustling art scene that's emerging here in Roselle Park. And joining us here is one of their premier artists, Sean O'Keefe. Sean, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I love the art that you have brought in. It's very apropos considering Halloween is a couple weeks away.
Yeah, that definitely falls more in my bailiwick than say the Christmas or the winter show.
Talk to us about your art.
I guess I'm mostly a surrealist and a symbolist. So, focusing on oil painting, drawing, pen and ink. Although as we were preparing for this show, I realized that the last year has been more digital, as everything transits to that. It's just like, what am I going to put up? So a little bit of a rush at the end. But.
As I've grown, whenever I go away or go on a vacation, you always want to get something to bring back. And as I've, changed, I realized some of the best things you can do is to buy or to pick up something local, because it's unique. You can't find it anything else. So tell us a little bit about how you started out and about your artwork.
Oh, how I started out. Geez, as soon as I could hold the pencil, maybe.
It was in your soul.
Yeah. My grandfather both my grandfathers were tinkerers. My one was always drawing and doing other stuff. They were always building crazy stuff. My grandpa on my dad's side always had half a car he was trying to rebuild. So it's just like the idea of doing stuff with your hands has always been, I guess, ingrained. And it's just always something I've done. So I've been lucky enough to be able to go to school for it and keep it up
and make a living.
Yeah.
Where do you sell your art here in town?
Mostly just during the fair. Online, online's most of it. So I do illustration jobs.
Well, tell us a little bit about, you have some artwork. If you want to like grab some, or what,
let's start with this one, 'cause
I don't
this
know
is-
if I can like maybe even hold this up. So what am I looking at here?
Okay,
I know
that's,
art is in, you look and you see. There's a reflection. You see
The
what
glass
you want to
one's
see, but I'm looking at it upside down. So what do we have here?
That's actually a photo that my wife took of my daughter at the Million Woman March, and she just kind of wandered off and put her fist up in the air, and I'm like, that's going to be a great screen print. So
I see it.
I
And I
figured I
love
should
that
probably
it's-
learn how to screen print.
That
and
it's pink. That it's pink as well.
just a little shout out.
Yeah, but you do more
Sorry.
than what other types of mediums?
Oh, these are both oil paintings over here. Let's get the less creepy one.
You're gonna pass one over. It's show and tell.
Yeah,
show and
exactly.
tell on the morning show.
So that's definitely more in the surrealist vein of the stuff I do. I tend to the surreal and the horror, so I like that pulpy stuff. It's fun.
This is beautiful.
Describe what's this? What was the inspiration behind this piece?
Inspiration's kind of hard. It's called the Beacon. So it's kind of this weird beacon in this weird like surrealist landscape that's signaling the little tower in the back. Who's signaling what for? I don't know. I can leave that up to the viewer. I'm not 100% sure myself.
This is the thing about art. I was driving around. I live in Lambertville, and I was driving, and literally I like slammed on my brakes because I saw a piece of art in the secondhand store, and it just speaks to you. Can you talk a little bit about how your artwork, not only is what you make a living at, but how it really feeds your soul?
Well, it's something you're compelled to do. So like it's hard to explain. Like especially when you're pricing and things like that, it's like, well, that's just a pencil drawing. It's like it isn't, because you have to get to that open area where you're tapping into something that's even a little bit beyond you, if that makes any sense. And it's very vulnerable in a lot of ways, and so just trying to reach into something that also connects with everybody but resonates with yourself.
Well, you're able to meet some of the people at the art festival. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, people are great. They're always great, and it just seems like, I don't know what the other artists' experience are, because they're you're busy selling, you're busy there working, but it seems like my tent's like people want to sit there and talk about art, and I love it. It's like they love to talk about it. Everybody loves it, and just try to encourage them. Find something you like. If you like it, if you can afford it, you buy it. It's not rocket science. You don't have to think about it as, well, is this going to be a good investment, or that it's not.
People
it can't always
get
be about
caught
that.
up in that.
If that's what you want, go to Christie's, go to an auction. I mean,
Yeah.
dollies are out there. You can find them on eBay.
So before we wrap, I want the viewers to see this last piece of
yeah.
art.
I can hold
Very
this.
Halloween-esque.
Yes, this is.
And what counsel do you keep? It says.
Yep, that was the title. I don't know. I tend to draw a lot, so I kind of try to get into that state of just letting the drawing happen and see what occurs to me next.
I love the colors.
Thank you.
And it's like when you see it in person, you can really just see the dimension, and you can feel. You can feel.
Thank you very much. That's one of the more pieces I'm more proud of. It's one of my later pieces. So
Yeah. Do you ever have picture paintings or that you are, fully intend on selling, but you're like, no, I gotta
I think
keep
my
that.
son might literally kill me in my sleep if I end up selling that one.
Okay.
And every time I put it up, he's like, don't sell it. Don't sell it. I'm like, dude.
Well,
see
I mean,
why.
this is like, how good of a Halloween decoration would that be, right?
Just a beautiful, beautiful,
Awesome.
To keep the spirit alive year round.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go. All right.
Where can people find out more about you and your art?
At Just Sean Art on Instagram, at justseanart.com. That'll pretty much get you there.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank
to
you guys for
talk to
having
us. Yeah. And we're actually going to see now firsthand what the Arts Festival is like. We have Cara DeFalco, who's going to take us on a tour.
I'm at the Roselle Park Arts Festival, where the community is celebrating creativity in all its forms, not just painting and drawing, but music, dance, and food as well. Pam, you actually started this event. Can you tell me a little bit about how it started and why?
Absolutely. In 2014, I found out that the Montclair Art Museum truck would do free crafts for kids, and I said, come on down. And they said, well, how will we get people there? And I said, well, let's build a little something around it. So we had a very small event at the car show, some crafts, one singer, and that was it. And then it was very popular, so we decided to build it up, and we've built it up year after year after year till we have what we have today.
As a borough, you want sort of private citizens to help out and do their part. And Pam's done this like on a hope and a prayer with some assistance from us through her nonprofit, right? And these are the things you want to do. You want to build the framework for awesome constituents like Pam to knock it out of the park, which she has.
And I see we have a lot of, at this point, a lot of activities for kids, different things that folks can do. I mean, how did that all kind of come about? Have you kind of, as you've been going, collected other local artists and people who wanted to help out and put their own creations forward?
Yes, absolutely. The whole idea from the beginning was to have kids literally and adults literally immersed in the arts, and the only way to do that is have them create too. So we've been collecting artists and vendors and crafters from around, and every time I see a good craft, every time I see a good something, I try to bring it in and get the participation going, because that's how you become creative.
Guys, I'm here with Jason from the Black Lantern, and we could not have found a more fall-themed tent at this arts festival. Tell me about you make all of this?
I make everything here. It started as just a little hobby for Halloween. Basically, just always liked putting on elaborate displays. From there, I didn't want to get all the store-bought stuff, so I started to make things on my own, and that kind of turned into the Black Lantern. So everything here is things that are original, hand sculpted, molded, casted by myself, painted, and it's just something that I love to do.
I mean, these are beautiful is not the word I want to use, just because of the
a little gross, but at the same time, people get into it and they like to see everything here, and they like to touch and feel and see what everything's made out of.
I am here with Lisa of Biva Styles, and you guys all know I love me something shiny, and this shop is beautiful. You have so much great stuff here. You're a jewelry maker.
Thank you. I am a jewelry maker, yes. I've always loved, jewelry making, so I said I have to start a business, and so I created my Etsy shop probably 11 years ago, and so I've been doing this for a while.
Wow. And you've got a little bit of everything here, all different. What kind of materials do you typically work with?
So my style is very retro and vintage looking, and that's because I use vintage estate pieces I collect, and I take them apart, and then I combine them with new materials and try to make something that's up to date and trendy.
And this weekend, we want to make sure that you check out Fall for New Jersey, Roselle Park, where we show you some of the best reasons to visit this town all year round. You can watch Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on News 12 Plus, and right here on NJ On Air. So much to see, so much to do.
Yes, I'm so excited for everyone to see this episode. It's been a real labor of love with Meridia on Westfield and Roselle Park, so we're so excited to show them in that light.
Exactly.
Mike Vivetta, we're not going to be talking about weather, but I just wanted to do a little chit chat with you about the wonderful time that we had here today. StreamYard come to life, as I like to call it, because we're all meeting each other in person for the first time.
Yeah, not through the little tiny window, the box. Even our director, Pam, our technical director, who's sitting in the booth, or the makeshift booth. It's actually the Meridia on Westfield offices, the rental offices. What's so nice about seeing her in person is she mentioned, to see people face to face, it's always nice, especially as things get back to normal. And the weather is so warm, just being outside. I got to tell you, it's been nice to hear the church bells from the church across the street kind of ringing in the background, reminiscent of a lovely morning, especially without a cloud in the sky. And just further down the way, just as the property management was talking about phase 2 going up and how there's a waiting list for phase 2, they're doing construction right now. So thanks to them for just pausing for about 40 minutes so we could do the weather outside while they clang away there at the construction site.
I love that I've been able to see some dogs walking by as well.
Yes.
You got to love a community where there are a lot of dog walkers, and I'm seeing a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's
And I
always
love
nice
that.
to have the cops in town come by and just say, hey, is everything all right? We got an email saying that you'd be here this morning. It's almost like he offered me coffee. It was so polite.
Aw,
So
that's
thanks to them
nice.
for making it. It's got that nice hometown feel here in Roselle Park.
Yeah, I was going to say, for as progressive as they are with the different events and forward-thinking 21st century,
Yeah,
it really feels like a throwback town at the same time.
it does.
I think sidewalk communities where you can walk and where you can go to a restaurant where it's gone back for generations, and people whose parents worked there, whose children plan on taking over. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm ready to stay here all afternoon.
Exactly. It really was a beautiful morning.
Yeah, and especially even those that are local to the area, like my friend Joe. He said his nonna lives a few blocks from here, and they have every family party at Costa's restaurant. So he's really happy that we were able to meet Cristoforo and kind of get that out there that you have some local Italian places here in New Rochelle, in Roselle Park, and really enjoying how nice it is here in Roselle Park throughout the afternoon and really going into the upcoming weekend.
Yes, Mike, it was a pleasure. I'm so happy we met. Thank you so much. And I guess we'll go back to our regularly scheduled program next week with little squares.
Or not.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
We
other
got to get the
towns,
green screen up in the
we
studio
travel,
to
we
get
travel.
Mike in. Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Mike.
And thank you so much for joining us this morning on the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Laura Jones.
And I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Thank you to Mayor Joseph Signorello, George Capadagli, and the amazing group here at Meridia on Westfield. It's been a pleasure being here this morning and working with you to make the show happen. So much fun. Make sure to check us out on social media at NJ Morning Show, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can see some of the behind the scenes fun. Yeah, here this morning. And also, we're going to have more exclusive sneak peeks of the Fall for New Jersey show happening this weekend on News 12 Plus. You can catch News 12 Plus on Optimum 61, Verizon Fios 530. And it'll be airing all weekend long, the show, 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And
tomorrow
also-
and Sunday.
And also following us here, right on NJ On Air.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Laura, it's been an honor
Oh
and a
my
pleasure.
gosh,
Thank you so
exciting
much.
seeing you face to face.
Yes, this is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And we thank you so much for sharing your morning with us.
Have a great weekend.